beautiful people. How are y'all doing? Come on, I got to do the welcome in intro to the amazing Conversations Unleashed Rising Together podcast. As you can see on YouTube, I have on my house hoodie. It is comfortable. Don't judge me. It is from Amazon. Okay. I love y'all so much. I wanted to be a place of comfort as you tune in and listen in today. Today's topic is definitely something different than unorthodox, but as you know, the orange episodes are for education and the blue episodes in green are for business. And I wanted to talk about something today and really challenge myself in regards to my pace and getting straight to the point, because I think your testimony is something that can bless a lot of people. Oftentimes, I believe we don't recognize how powerful our individual stories are together. And I want to amplify that today. So today's topic is going to be called From Classroom to CEO, No One Showed Me. And I want to give you something that's helped me sustain a business for 7 years by the grace of God. So let's get into it. Let's have some fun. So y'all, thank y'all for being here. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. I love y'all so much. Okay? I love y'all so much. So listen, for a while, I didn't even really understand that I was am a business owner. And that can be partially due to how upbringing, I was raised. You don't really brag on yourself or anything like that, because my parents have always instilled that there's always somebody that's doing something better. There's always someone that's taller than me, has more money than me, that looks better than me, that is a better teacher than me, a better speaker. There's always someone better. The fact is, can I be better than myself every year or beat myself every year? So the fact that I'm a classroom teacher and a business owner is a unique symbiotic relationship. And I'm not shocked, because as a teacher, if you are an educator in the United States or in the world in 2026, you are more than just a teacher. You are a teacher. You are an assistant to everything going on in your classroom. You are a psychologist. You are a sociologist dealing with the dynamics of the families inside of that school community. You are a nurse, a doctor. You are a nutritionist. You are a parent. You are a security guard, right? You are so many things in one. And I carried that weight for a while before I started my business. So I'm not shocked that I'm able to do as many things now, but I definitely know it's about the grace of God. And it's just me being honest for all the times I wanted to stop or be annoyed and frustrated and exhausted. I started my company in 2017. I named it Bonneville. My sister, Candace Michelle Bonner, who I love you, sis. My sister went to school with this guy by the name of Johnny Finch. Johnny Finch randomly hit me up after the second Ellen show, and he was like, "Hey, you need an LLC." I'm from the country, Perquimans County, North Carolina. I have no idea what an LLC is, and it stands for a limited liability company. So I ended up starting and naming my company Bonneville after my first classroom as a fifth grade teacher. And y'all, we've been rolling. My company has seen a lot of different changes. I've been a LLC, and I've also switched to being an S Corp, where I'm on salary and I'm running payroll. That's one thing I take pride in as a CEO. There has never been anybody I have worked with that has received their money late. Everybody gets paid on time. Everybody gets paid on time. But there's still correlations, right? As a classroom teacher, I told you all the things I am, but as a CEO of Bonneville, I do control all of my media, which I'm doing now. I am a content creator for these different companies. I'm working with Home Depot at the end of this month. I am a photographer. I am a videographer. Right? I am a writer, a brand manager. I am my own assistant. I am a producer, a director. Right? I can make sure my heart is beating fast. Adding in. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do all those things. And what I've learned is that all of it has come with its own trials and tribulations. One of the very things that is wrong, well, not wrong, one of the things that we've heard people say a lot, especially for me, I want to say in the Black community and my family, based on how we grew up, is that no one showed us, right? So sometimes in life, God will allow you to be the one in your family that has the opportunity to break down so many different types of walls, whether it is generational type walls, whether it is the stopping of unproductive and dysfunctional habits, addicted to drugs or cursing people out when you're trying to have a formal disagreement. It may be financial, it may be spiritual, it may be psychological. You're the one in your family that started going through therapy and understanding metacognition. I believe that God will always pick somebody in your family that will be the one that takes your family to another level. And I want you to think about this just in this moment with me. Draw in on this piece, because this is the reason why I take being a business owner and what I do very seriously. Will your family generation be better because you are here, or did you take 2 steps back? I want you to think about this, and I'm going to say it one more time, okay? Just one more time. Will your family tree be better because you are here, or will it go backwards 2 steps? And I ask that because when you become the one that's been blessed to do something big, and big is subjective. Big could be you're the first millionaire in your family. Big could be you're the first one to save $10,000 in your family. Big is subjective. But what I want to let you know is when you're chosen to be that one, there are going to be trials and tribulations because no one has showed you before. And that's why if you pay attention to the title, I say from classroom to CEO, nobody showed me. And if I'm honest, the people that I thought were going to show me, they didn't show me. And I've learned that through life, God and life did that intentionally, because sometimes people can show you how to do something and they're taking the glory for that, right? So learning, y'all, has been a trial and tribulation for me. The biggest culprit that I've run into with being a CEO in business for me, because my business is centered around keynote speaking and, podcasting and influencers and things like that. The biggest things I've had to deal with is taxes and biases. People don't recognize the more money you make, the more taxes you will have to pay. Now, this may be very common to you, but where I am from, you are celebrated if you get money back from the government, which isn't always the best thing, because the government just borrowed your money at a 0% interest rate and they're just returning it back to you because you overpay the government. But some of my friends, from the neighborhoods and stuff we've grown up in, they're not getting money back from the government. They're actually paying taxes, right? That has been a unique battle for me as I'm learning, right? Also biases. Y'all, I'm on stage giving speeches. And with these speeches, I want to be clear. I'm 1% of me inside of the education field. So here comes this 6'4" African American male with a suit on who has energy, charisma, and I'm telling you, the importance of community and relationships with your kids and trying something new and innovation in systems. And what I have learned with biases is that someone else that looks completely different from you or a different demographic can say the same thing and they will get a resounding applause. You can see that even on social media from those that, are not even in the classroom, no shade, and they have way more engagement than a classroom teacher that is in the classroom. Like, it's just life. Those have been 2 of the battles that I've dealt with being a business owner. And guess what? I'm okay with being honest with y'all about that, right? Because I know for me, I'm only going to get better. And often people like to hide behind social media and don't give you the real. Well, y'all, this is the real and what I fought through and dealt with my business. And which leads me to my next part. The subtitle of this is Nobody Showed Me. Nobody showed me. When I think about it now, my mom just retired, and we had the conversation a couple times, and we were talking about retirement accounts and things like that. And if it wasn't for Mrs. Beverly, or I believe her name is Miss Gloria Thomas, back at home, my mother would have never known about a retirement account so that she could retire. And for some communities and some people, if we want to be honest, your parents don't have a retirement account because you're the retirement account. If your parents do not have a retirement account, you are the retirement account as the child, which means that if things go down or if they get sick, that all falls back to you. And in our conversation with my parents, we often talk about, how no one did show them. And I can see that. My parents were still alive during the Jim Crow era where you had white only, black only water fountains, right? So there are some things they did not know. But now, everybody, what I need us to understand, and clip this, please. AI, clip this now. In the year of 2026, the reasoning of no one showed me or no one told me has to get buried. It has to die. Because we are in the land of information now. And we were in the land of information even before generative AI. You can go on Google and you can type in a question or look up a certain website. Now you have Claude and ChatGPT where you can literally type in a response, take a picture of something that's failing and get step-by-step directions broken down to however you like it. When I was growing up, I'm a millennial, I'm 35 years old. When I was growing up, you didn't even have the internet like that. The most advanced technology where I'm from, the neighborhood, was Oregon Trail, and you had the index catalog that you go through in the library to look up things. Now, y'all, things are different. We can no longer lean on nobody showed me. So here's a deeper example for us to talk about, right? So for me, giving is very important to me. Philanthropy is extremely important to me. So what I want you to know is that even though I have moved to Atlanta, Georgia, the kids that I taught at South Greenville Elementary are dear to my heart because they were there with me while I was going through my divorce. Those kids are now graduating, Kaylee Cavanis and so many of them. And then next year, the kids going to be graduating is the students that were with me on the Ellen DeGeneres show. Now, this is important because I've recognized those students coming from rough environments or systems that did not have all the funding to make sure they succeed. I took that personal, and I wanted to make sure that I put something in place for them. Did somebody put a gun to my head to do that? No, but I've always been a giver, and I think it's just so dope. It's such a boss move to be able to work hard and scale yourself to a level that you can pour back into a community strategically that help serve you and build you to who you are. So listen, those kids are growing, and I had a talk with Beth, who's over Pitt County Educational Foundation, and we had a conversation yesterday and talk about nobody showed me, no one told me. Well, I took that moment to learn from Beth. Beth was telling me the $1 million endowment that Pitt County has for scholarships, and I was learning about what's an appropriate donation or not, how they can keep track with kids. And in that conversation, instead of me just saying, hey, I don't know, nobody showed me, I took initiative and asked and scheduled a call. And y'all, it put a lot of things in perspective. In 2026, my word is distilled abundance. Distill means to remove the excess and the noise and to still enjoy the abundance of life. And that's what I'm intentionally planning on doing. And one of the things and areas that I messed up at, if I'm honest with you, in these past 5 years of my life, is that I gave away so much to people that didn't even really value what I gave them. And we're not even talking about money. We can talk about loyalty, time, etc. We're not talking about perfection. We're talking about the concept of the act of giving. And the conversation with Beth, I learned, y'all, sometimes I gave too much. For example, she was explaining that when it comes to scholarships, normally they are gap scholarships where they are closing the gap if a kid's financial aid doesn't cover. And she was saying the typical average is $1,000 to $1,500 per year. In my mind, if you look at social media, you see people thinking they're giving away $5,000, $10,000, $100,000. And it really shifted me. It really changed me. And I said all that to say that we may not know all the answers to our issues, or you may be operating into something that is unfamiliar and that you don't know. But let me tell you something. You have the skill set to figure it out. Shonda Cherry, one of the best administrators I've ever worked for, she actually hired me. She said this quote, and it's carried me since I moved to Atlanta, and it's helped me so much. And she says, the blessings of God will never take you where the grace of God can't keep you. The blessings of God will never take you where the grace of God can't keep you. And y'all, there's been times in my life in this journey, from the first Ellen show to the first speech to working at RCA, etc. I've had conversations with my parents and I'm asking them, hey, y'all, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm built for this. This seems a lot. Or when those tax bills come in, or when, you have payroll, or when you are trying to build and scale. Y'all, there are moments where I'm like frazzled all over the place. But if I'm so honest with you today, I have learned that God has never let me down. That if you have a hunger to find that answer, then it will come. We have the resources for it. He'll put somebody in your path that will inspire you, that will motivate you to let you see what's possible. Like, for example, the individual that I respect highly is Ryan Leak, who's an incredible speaker. And Ryan has been so kind. Ryan has talked to me about all different types of things. He's reached out, and he didn't have to. But even just watching how God has spoken through him when I'm looking for certain answers, or Trinity, my mentor, so many things are powerful. But this is good. This is where people mess up. People often mess up because God will give you a solution, or life will give you a solution, right? And what happens is people become envious of what they should be inspired by. Darius Daniels killed that quote when he said it. And what do I mean by this? A lot of us are searching for answers and trying to figure things out. But the reality of it is, sometimes the clues are right there in front of your face. And if you're around the wrong group of people, you will find yourself being envious and hating on someone you really should be inspired by. So I said all that to say that the solutions may come in unorthodox ways, but as long as you have the hunger and the fight, right, to try to find a solution for your stuff, and even if no one in your family has done it before, it can be done. I'm sitting here in 2026 of February. You're listening to this on the 4th. I'm recording on the 3rd. I have never in a million years thought my life would be where it's at right now. And I'm making these videos because my nieces and nephews are growing older. They're going to need to know one day how their uncle built $1 million fund to help give back to children. Y'all, this is the inception of it, right? This is the purpose of documenting. And I'm here to tell you, when I started this business in 2017, Bonneville was not where it's at now. I remember the same old logo and stuff, etc. And now we have scaled. And we're growing, and it's an incremental piece, but it's happening piece by piece. So let this be an encouragement to you that nobody has to show you, but if you trust God and work hard, those things will fall into place. That's why Proverbs 3:5-6 is my favorite scripture, because it gives me so much hope. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not to your own understanding, acknowledge him in all thy ways, and he will direct thy paths. And that isn't a place of perfection. That's just a place of just letting y'all know that powerful things can take place. So listen, if you're looking for answers, they're out there. We have AI, we have people and resources. And if people do not give you the proper resources, you can tap in. There's so many different ways. All right. I love y'all so much. You take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed this chill episode today, because that's what it was about. And I just wanted to tell you something real, something honest. Okay. You take care of yourself. This week, tomorrow, Wednesday evening, we will be doing the Bonner briefing. I'll be going live on YouTube. I'll be going live on Facebook. I'm probably that y'all around 6:30 to 7. And then tap in with me. Okay. Tap in with me as we talk about the markets and the economy and what's happening in the world, because once again, you can't be a world leader if you don't know what's going on in your own community and stuff, all right? I love y'all so much. Take care of yourself, and I will talk to you soon. All right? Take care. Peace.